in the mail in the last week.
Okay.
Isn't it? Yeah. So just wait for my mail, Tanmay. I've just
Yeah.
given you the idea about how exactly it is going to be. Maybe in the next week or next to next week.
Ma'am, but you will just forward us the mail like at least 1 or 2
I
days
will
before.
send you the mail for the confirmation. I have just given you the idea that there could be a test. But I haven't mentioned yet the dates.
Yeah, ma'am, but just if the test is supposed to be Wednesday or Thursday, then you will
Uh-huh.
at least inform us 1 or 2 days before, right?
My dear, a week before.
Okay, great, ma'am. Thank you.
Just relax. Fine. Okay, so let me share my screen. Can anyone unmute himself or herself? Sorry, mute. So now, today we are supposed to take care about the network configuration. And before we start with the network configuration, so let me exactly tell you how exactly the network configuration are going to be placed or going to be designed. So we won't go into the detail of the design. So initially, first of all, we are going to talk about the terminology, what we are going to have it. So one is the terminology, what we are having onto the network is a IPS, or we say it's an intrusion prevention system. Right? The second is the IDS, or you say it's an intrusion detection system. And the last is going to be, let's talk about the firewall. So in the Linux, we call it as a IP tables. Fine. So when you take care about the firewall, so generally the IDS or IPS, this particular device is going to be placed after the firewall. So we will have the the different kind of basic difference between three of them. So the firewall responsibility is to filter out, you can say, any traffic, could be inbound or outbound, according to the rules. Right? So when you say according to rules means what? Whenever you are going to set up any of the IP tables or any of the rules, so the first thing you need to address that which particular connection your system can accept. If I do not want my system to be visible for SSH, or my system to be visible for any of the ping request, or my system to be visible for any on the port 443 or any of the port 80 as well, so I need to add that particular rule into the IP tables. So when I add that particular rules into the IP tables, and according to that rule, my firewall is going to work. So in the very first question, if someone asks you, okay, during the vulnerability assessment that you find that, okay, some particular intrusion is happening onto your system. So what is that particular, what is the quickest way, how exactly you are going to react? So as a system administrator or as a vulnerability administrator, you need to talk to that person who is responsible for it. I'm going to add this particular rule into the firewall. And as soon as the rule is going to be added, in that particular sense, immediately that traffic is going to be filtered out. So we will talk about the attack and how exactly what is the difference between the attack as well as the what you can say the vulnerability is. But this you need to understand. So firewall is basically, the firewall is going to work based on some rules, right? And this is nothing but a device which is being configured and to accept or reject any of the rules. Now, the second is going to be the IPS, or you can say the intrusion prevention system. It's a prevention system. Okay? Prevention system, that means the objective is that somewhere it is going to prevent the what you can say, or somewhere it is going to stop the extensible scope of the malicious traffic, you can say. So malicious traffic is being stopped. So it is going to be with the prevention system. So prevention means you can say detection and prevention of non-legitimate traffic. Sorry, prevention of legitimate traffic to go inside the network. As simple as that. Again, it is nothing but you can say it could be a device. When you take care about the intrusion prevention system, it could be the device or the application as well. The responsibility is to monitor. See, the firewall is going to filter out. IPS is going to detect and then prevent. And IDS is not going to do anything. IDS is just going to monitor. Monitoring the traffic. That means what? It never, no one of this particular IPS or IDS or firewall is going to read the entire traffic flow. No. It actually based on the signature. Every traffic is going to have its own signature. And based on the signature, the IDS, IPS or firewall is going to decide that, or based on the rules, the firewall is going to decide whether I need to accept this particular traffic or whether I need to reject this particular traffic. So IDS responsibility is to monitoring the activity and you can say monitoring the traffic and you can say sending the alerts to responsible people. As simple as that. So basically, your firewall is going to take care about the rules which specifies, okay, just accept every traffic coming from this particular IP address. Just reject any of the traffic which comes from this particular IP address to the port number. Accept any of the IP address for this particular port to this particular port. Could be that. This is one of the rule of the firewall. When you take care about the IPS, IPS is going to take care about the, as we have discussed, just see the signature, cross-check the signature of that particular traffic. And based on that particular signature, IPS system can decide whether to move ahead or not. And exactly the same thing the IDS is going to do. Difference between the IDS and IPS is going to prevent it, whereas IDS is going to detect it and send the alerts to any of the responsible person. Now, let me show you the images what I have opened for you.
So, ma'am, IDS and IPS both monitor the network at the same time, right?
Yeah, both are going to monitor the network, but you need to see that one is going to prevent it and the other is going to only detect it.
Okay, so IPS is not going to detect any traffic. It's just going to prevent.
IPS, Tanmay, without detection, how the prevention is going to happen?
Yeah, exactly.
So IPS is going to detect as well as prevent, whereas IDS is only going to detect and sending the signals to the responsible people.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah.
So,
Let me.
ma'am,
Yeah.
firewall is responsible for filtering, and IPS and IDS are responsible for monitoring.
Monitoring, exactly. So it may happen that okay, I have applied the rule on the firewall for this particular IP address and this traffic, but there is some kind of the impersonation happened, and
Yeah.
because of that particular impersonation, the firewall has accepted that particular traffic. But now IPS is going to see the detect, okay, this particular traffic is not according to that signature. So just block and prevent the different kind of scope what is going to be given for this particular request. So if
Okay,
you
okay.
see this
Got it.
diagram, so generally the firewall, IDS or IPS, these combinations we are using to take care about the defense in depth. I cannot rely on the firewall only, neither I can rely on the IPS only or the IDS only. So that's what we have always discussed. The security is nothing but a layer. The combinations of different kind of, the information, or you can say the layers, what we can have with respect to the, defense in depth. That we need to understand. Are you getting my point? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, understood.
Yeah. So this particular diagram is really going to give you the nice understanding about where exactly the IPS and IDS and those things are going to be placed and the firewall. Fine. So let me give you one particular link, and this link is really uh, a kind of okay. Before, let me yeah, just hold on. Yeah, there is a one particular project. This project is from the IITB. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, first hold on. Let me give this particular project information to you. Just open it up at your end. And then let me open these things for you. And into this particular buyer, the sponsor is a CyberSafe network associate, and this thing is there. And this is a quite nice project overview. And I really do not want to go into the full detail of how exactly the things are. Policy is the development, intrusion detection system buyer guide. Okay, let me share the link with you. Yeah. So this particular thing is really good, and this link. just go through, open it up, this particular link. This is a report for the intrusion. Yeah, and try to open up the report at your end. Intrusion detection system bar guide. And just let me know once you have opened it. This particular guide is sponsored by CyberSafe, IDC, ISS, NII, ODS, and Tripwire. Tripwire is nothing but the cyber security and the compliance solution. Okay, have you opened up the document at your end? Once you opened up the document, go to the page number 1. Sorry, page number 8. Can you go to the page number 8, all my dear students? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Go to the page number 8 where it is being displayed, the policy is a key. Fine. Now, as a vulnerability assessment practitioner, you need to take care about this particular thing always, that first of all, see what is the organization policy. If you are going to go from one particular company to other company, it is not at all necessary that they are going to have the exactly same policies. So before doing or before starting any of the vulnerability assessment, you need to understand is the policy. What exactly the policy is. If I want business to be running 24/7 operational, how exactly my network is defined. So if you see the page number 8 over here, so before the network configuration, that's why I've given you first what is the IDS and IPS, so that we can go with respect to the policies first. IDS is only useful in the context of business and operational process. Now see the way they have defined. How will we respond in the event of intrusion? Are you getting my point? Do you want if the intrusion is there, the alert is being sent to system administrator, or the alerts needs to be sent to the CISO, or the alerts needs to be sent to the information owner or to the data owner? Who must be aware of that there is an intrusion? So first of all, see the first line. The first consideration when complaint and IDS is that how will we respond in the event of intrusion? Are you getting all my dear students? The second thing is, with the advent of modern intrusion detection system, we are able to measure the attack resistance of our network. How my firewall is working. That's why the firewall, intrusion detection system, and the prevention system, they are the part of the defense in depth. If my data is not at all, and everything requires the monitoring, everything requires the cost to be associated. So it is really depending on what is exactly the policy of your business. We can know within the minutes if we are being probed, hacked, infected, or misused. Alerted with email, the pages means there was a pager initially earlier in late in the 90s or earlier in the 2000. There was a messaging service which was named as a pager, and during that we used to get, when I was working in the production as a production DBA, that time we used to get the message, okay, if there is a problem onto the database, so we used to get the pager or the phone call. So if you are on the customer support, so you are going to get all information day and night by means of your intrusion detection system. As we have discussed, IDS is going to monitor and sending the alerts. Are you getting my dear students? So whether to send it the alerts or not, okay, I'm sitting at my home right now, not in my office. So if alert is supposed to be sent, so that means I need to take care about the messaging service. I need to take care about giving the devices to the responsible person so that they can listen to those alerts. So naturally, I need to take care about the cost associated with it. Cost means what? The business policies comes into the picture. So that's what I mean to say that, and we can be alerted with the emails. So, but why? Why I should be alerted with the emails or pages of phone call if my policy doesn't require it? Are you getting my point? So, as a vulnerability assessment or as a vulnerability assessor or as an auditor, if you are thinking, no, it could be better thing that if I'm able to go with the defense in depth, we'll go with the firewall, we'll go with the IDS, but what is the cost of it? And what is the benefit I'm going to get? So it is always going to be cost with respect to the benefit associated with it. Then only I can go with whether I need to have it or it is okay to compromise some of the data. As simple as that. Are you getting my dear students what I mean to say? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? Now, can you read the page number 9 itself or 8? Yeah, page number 9. The management direction, can you read it? And just after that, we will discuss. Yes, once you are done, just let me know. Okay? Are you with me, dear students?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. And now, how the management is important. So, this is the policy document which is required. Now, as a vulnerability assessor, you need to have the statement of scope. Please take a note onto this. Till this particular network, you are supposed to move, not after that. If you are going to move after that, this is going to be the illegal activity. The activity for which you do not have any kind of written permissions. So every vulnerability assessor or every pen tester is always going to have the written permission with the statement of scope. Are you getting my point? Every time you are not going to see the entire application. some portion of that particular application is given to you to take care about the vulnerability as well as the pen testing. Now, organization has a separate virus intervention policy that may be excluded from the incident handling policy. Some organizations integrate the emergency operation portion of disaster recovery into the incident handling policy. So major your objective is that if the attack happens, how your system is going to react. Suppose I am saying, okay, there is an incident happened, but whether that incident is a malicious incident or non-malicious incident, I really do not know. The signature did not match, and because of that, the traffic has been filtered out. As simple as that. Let me give the different kind of example. In in the earlier the first or second week of March itself, I was busy in one particular assignment, and that time the labs and everything was given to me over the network. Our firewall policy was not allowing me. Although I was not a non-legitimate user, I was a legitimate user. But the firewall policy was not allowing me to go into their lab and see the things. So this is the thing. So this is not this is the incident, but we cannot say that it is a malicious incident. So the person has to add the rules into the firewall to access the traffic which is coming from this particular network. Are you getting my point? So even if I have put the IPS, even if I have put the firewall rules, even if I put the IDS, still if the incident is there, I need to confirm as a system administrator, as a network administrator, this is my responsibility to confirm that this is a malicious incident. And when this is, I'm going to confirm that this is a malicious incident, and that's how the things are going to begin. Every time, generally, you must have noticed that okay, there is a news that okay, this happened, but company did not say anything onto it. There was an attack, but company did not report or did not speak anything about this particular thing. Why? The reason could be they are just waiting to confirm the incident before they can formally announce that this particular incident has happened. So confirmation part is required from where the traffic is. Generally, if you go for the denial of service, distributed denial of service attack, it is quite tough to detect that particular thing. The reason behind that is, for me, it looks like a normal network activity, nothing more than that. So I need to and monitoring is a quite important thing when you take care about the security. Monitoring the network, monitoring the log files, monitoring the incidents, whatever are happening, it is quite important to understand the scope of the vulnerability. Are you getting my dear students? So that's why this particular paragraph, whatever the statement of scope is, if someone asks you that why the statement of scope is required into the IDS, just to see that where exactly or for the vulnerability assessor, just to look at that where exactly we are supposed to move as a vulnerability assessor, not beyond that. Fine? All the participants. So this is quite important. So policy is a key. So if whenever you get time, just go through this particular thing. Policy is a key. Now, technology landscape. This is a quite important and very much interesting diagram. Can you go to the page number 14, all my dear students? Yeah? Shall we start with page number 14? Now can anyone tell me what does the page number 14 is trying to tell you? The diagram? S entry stands for system entries. Yes, my dear students, please go ahead and just let me know what the first this diagram is trying to tell you. Go to page number 14. Can you see the diagram? Figure 1. I hope I am audible to you, dear students.
Yeah, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, are you with me, dear students? Are you able to open up page number 14 of the same document? Let me share my screen. Are you able to see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now can you tell me what it is trying to show you?
Oh,
Yes?
ma'am, I'm not sure, but I guess when we are at the system, then when the vulnerability assessment is scheduled, then
Mm-hmm.
the what is written that it verifies policies by finding holes in system password, cracking
Exactly. So see here,
wrong.
verify the policy. So if the policy says that okay, there is a password cracking or there is a wrong privilege, means if the policy is defined that okay, the password should be like that, the privileges should be like that. So I cannot say if the privileges is like that, then I cannot say that these are the wrong privileges. Are you getting me? So first of all, the first thing is you need to verify the policies. Is it according to the policies or not? If it is according to the policy, then you cannot say these are the vulnerability or these are the intrusions. Are you getting away of Palakjit? Who is it?
Ma'am, Palak.
Yeah. So I cannot say, so I need to see the first line always. Verify the policy. If it is according, and that's why the policy document as a vulnerability assessor you need to find. Yeah. After that, Palakjit, can you tell me?
Ma'am, if we go quadrant wise, then the second quadrant that says scans networks to find holes and vulnerabilities in the device. So it's an assessment and for the finding of the vulnerabilities and the loopholes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. So
so ma'am,
now,
are
first
we
is
going like quadrant
yeah.
wise, like first, second, third, and then fourth? Is it?
First, second, third, and then fourth. Yeah. What
Ma'am,
happened?
I no, ma'am. I'm saying the verifies policies is the first quadrant, then scanning network is the second, then sentries on networks is the third quadrant, and sentry on each system is the
It
fourth
is
quadrant. Is it?
okay, how to read a quadrant? Can you anyone tell me?
Ma'am, it's a graph terminology, if you remember. XY coordinates and so wala.
How to read the XY coordinate? ठीक है ना? If I read like this,
Ma'am, the
then
first
I should
quadrant
read
is
like this.
the left side top, the first one.
Left side. Okay,
Yeah,
left
yeah,
side.
yeah, that one, the verifies policy. Yeah, that is the
First
first
one.
quadrant.
Then second one.
Yeah, second one is the sentry on the reach system.
Exactly. Third one.
Yeah, third one is the sentries on networks, and fourth one
Networks.
scans
Watch for
networks.
known attacks. And fourth one is this.
Is this? Yeah,
Always it is going to be read in the clockwise direction.
yeah, yeah. It is in the clockwise direction.
Paragjit, is it
So,
clear
ma'am,
now?
after every, yes, ma'am. So the upper level things that वो पहले होंगे, is it?
Verify the policy. ये पहले होगा.
Yes, ma'am.
Then
Then
scans on each system. Watch for changes in the key files, break-ins, backdoors, and the real time.
so ma'am, network assessment बाद में होगा.
नेटवर्क असेसमेंट तो सबसे बाद में होगा ना. पहले अब मुझे तो ये देखना पड़ेगा ना कि एप्लीकेशन में और कुछ तो नहीं है प्रॉब्लम.
Okay, okay. Yes, ma'am.
समझ रहे
ma'am.
हो आप बात को?
Yes,
नेटवर्क में
ma'am.
तो मैंने डाल दिया, लेकिन नेटवर्क को मैंने पूरा प्रोटेक्ट कर लिया, बट अगर एप्लीकेशन में प्रॉब्लम हुआ तो मैं क्या करूं?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
तो
Got
फर्स्ट
it.
ऑफ
Got
ऑल
it.
आई नीड टू टेक केयर अबाउट माय एप्लीकेशन. और इसीलिए टिल द लास्ट वीक वी वर जस्ट डिस्कसिंग अबाउट द एप्लीकेशन, है ना? So
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, these two things are going to work on to the systems. If the system is good, and then watch for the known attacks, and then you are going to have the scans the network to find the holes and vulnerability in the devices, because as we have discussed, the firewall and the IPS, they work on the devices. Okay? The devices could be the routers, devices could be any other network device could be the firewall as well. ठीक है Palakjit? So
Yes,
all
ma'am.
the
Got it.
participants just take care about. Initially, I need to take care about my system. I am developing the software, and after that, you are going to read. Now, this is the assessment. But when I go as a vulnerability assessor to my system, think about it. So I'm not developing anything. I'm just a vulnerability assessor or a black box tester, nothing more than that. So first point, what I'm going to look at? The first point I'm going to look at that how my system is getting accessed over the network. Are you getting Palakjit? Now the angle is changed. This is the way by which it is being developed. But now the angle is changed because I am just the assessor. So I really do not know. So what I'm going to look at that how the system is being accessed. System is being accessed means what? What are the different kind of entry points into the system? Are you getting Parajit? And all the participants, Sanma, you as well. Just focus on what I'm saying. Akash, Darren. Just look for. I have developed my system. My system is running onto the production. A person is coming outside to see that, okay, to check whether the system is vulnerable or not. So the first point is going to look at that how the system is going to be accessed. Fine. And what are the policies? Two things. And when we'll get to know that, okay, what is the, how is the system is going to access, and then which is going to define the scope of that particular person to work. And after that, it will start taking care about the input validation, start taking care about the cross-site scripting attack, start taking care about the forgery attack, and so on and so forth. My dear students, are you with me? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now just look at. This is a quite nice diagram. Now we have moved towards only the intrusion. I really do not know how exactly the backdoor entry is, how the input validation is taking place, nothing. Now, there are two intrusions and detection and the prevention system. One is the host based and one is the network based. So this we are not going to discuss into our syllabus, host based one. We are going to focus on the network based vulnerability assessment. Fine. And here, can you tell me how exactly this diagram is going to work? Yes, my dear students. Can anyone tell me what it is going on in this particular diagram? Yes, my dear students. I hope the screen is getting shared with you clearly. Akshay, Tanmay, Darren, Himesh, Jatin, Satvik, Shubhit. Shubhit, you are not at all audible. Can you please unmute yourself and then clearly talk?
Hello.
Yeah, Shubhit, tell me. Yeah, Shubhit, go ahead. Hello. Yeah, Shubhit.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Fine. Okay. So I'm sorry, Shubhit, you are not at all audible to me. It's quite disturbances. Okay. So now just go through this particular documentation what I have given you, but do not go through the host-based intrusion detection system. I'm not asking you to go for the host-based, please. Just you need to have the information about how exactly the things are. Fine. Now, let me show you how exactly you are. Okay, have you installed the Kali Linux at your end? My dear students, have you installed the Kali Linux at your end?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you created a virtual machine?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Great, good to know. So all of you, all the students, if you are not installed the Kali Linux, please install it. And you can let me open up my screen. Let me share my screen. Okay. So you can do the download from here. Okay. And then you have the virtual box at your end. If you do have, create the virtual machine for Kali Linux. And then we will start doing the the different kind of initially we do the commands. I do not know how many of you are able to recall the commands, but I will initially just give you the direction about the simple network files. Then I'm going to give the simple permissions, how exactly you are going to have, and then we are supposed to move with the different kind of tools. Fine. So here, this link kali.org, you must be able to see on my screen. Just download it at your end and create a virtual machine. I hope you are aware of how to create the virtual machine. Hello? Are you aware of how to create the virtual machine? My dear students. Let me have a stop here for now. And we'll move ahead. Let me take the attendance now.
What happened?
Are you aware of how to create the virtual machine?
Yes. No, my mic was
So yeah,
bit
please
loose. Yeah.
go ahead and do it, and because we do require in the next session. Next session is when, tomorrow or day after? I think on Thursday. Okay, let me tell you on this particular thing is that on Thursday I'm on leave.
Okay, ma'am.